What's that mean? Pat?
Pat, sorry.
Get the door.
Pat, sorry.
Something came up. Run.
Oh.
You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
So it turns out nobody's worried about Connor McDavid not signing in Edmonton. Quick, Liam, show me your surprised face. We'll get into it with the lead.
Oh my gosh.
That's Liam. There we go.
Oh, here we go.
What comes first, the clip of the extension or the extension itself? We started a little late today. Anyways, welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday, a special Monday edition of the show. I think we're kind of just back to Monday, Wednesday, Friday now because August is coming to a close. We got something to talk about today. All of that stuff. But welcome in Oilers Nation Everyday, live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online at sportscloset.ca. Jerseys, hats, the legendary foam finger. They got it all and more at the Sports Closet. We're also, as always, a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Tyler and Liam with you. Only day this week you're going to be here.
Yes, I fly out to Penticton tomorrow. My first V's camp.
Go V's.
Go V's.
You're going to make us some friends while you're there, though, right? You're there on Penticton V's business, but you're keeping the Oilers Nation Everyday card in the back pocket.
There's a few people who could be there and should be there that I'm going to try and talk to.
I like
See what happens.
That's good.
No
That's
promises.
Good. No, we're taking that as a promise. That's a promise.
I don't even know if people want to hear from half of them.
No, they would. They would. No, trust me, they would. YouTube chat, hope you're all doing well. Christopher Palmer's in. I've decided to join the chat today. Don't want to do no work. That's fair. And then everyone complained about us starting 7 minutes late, but that's fine. Only 1.5 months left before hockey is back. Here's the tough part with being an Oilers fan right now. I think in years past, you would be really, really excited for the start of the season. Like even going back to last year when like I had an amount of general excitement that like the Oilers could be a dominant team in the regular season. We could watch them put up 110, 120 points even.
Yeah.
That obviously didn't happen.
No,
the offseason
not
moves
even
though,
close.
like Skinner, Arvidsson, those were like exciting. And I get that Savoy and Howard are exciting in kind of like their own way. But I'm not going into this year, and maybe this speaks more about me and the job, whatever. I'm not going into this year super excited to talk about regular season hockey.
I just think it's too, like, the expectation is from last season, like you said, like the expectations were so high of like what was going to happen. It didn't happen. And it was such like a boring regular season of the sense of like this team just doesn't seem good enough. And then they got to the playoffs and were just good enough. So it all just seems irrelevant. Like game 1 to game 82 just feels very much like, can we just move things along?
And like the thing,
I don't even know when the season starts.
October 11th.
Who do
I
they
actually
play?
have it.
Who's their first game?
I have it right in front of me.
Winnipeg?
October 8th, BOA against Calgary.
Wow, that'd be nice to get blown out 7-0.
Yeah, it'll probably be a letdown. That's fair.
There's nothing worse than the. I shouldn't say nothing worse. Don't get me wrong. I do get excited when the season comes around. Like, you want to watch it and everything, but like when you start watching and all of a sudden they're down 8-1 to the Vancouver Canucks, so they're down 6-0 to the Winnipeg Jets.
Because they're going to start poorly.
Damn. And yeah, they more than likely will. Hopefully not. Like, hopefully it's just like kind of a. I think one thing that could benefit this season is the excitement of the younger players on the team. Like guys who haven't been there and done it and a bit more to prove for themselves. Like obviously Savoy and Howard, and hey, maybe they make another move. I don't know. But there's guys on the team, like not even to go that young, but Trent Frederick. Yeah. Andrew Mangiapane, like two players who I think it's fair to say had let down seasons last year and want to prove that they actually are the players they were from a couple of years ago. So I think that's something that would benefit the Oilers in a big way. And I think, too, like McDavid and Draisaitl probably want to prove that this is the standard kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like kind of a different group. Let's push it forward in the right direction.
Yeah, I would like to see this team not... This sounds so stupid, but like, I want to see them take the regular season more seriously. They obviously do. Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing them have a little bit more fun with it. Maybe enjoy the wins a little bit more. I've talked about that with Gregor in the past of like, I don't know. I feel like no one likes scoring goals less than the Oilers. No one likes winning less than because they're just so focused on like what you and I just had the conversation about. This doesn't matter. We're judged on the playoffs. This doesn't matter. We're judged on the playoffs. But like, I do think there is room in the regular season to, flex a little bit. If you're the Oilers, like you can beat teams 8-1 if you want to. If you're the Oilers, you can get fired up about your 11th overtime win of the season. Like, and I get that they want to have we've done this before and have that sort of veteran mindset, and it's almost cocky in a different way of like, yeah, we just beat you. We really don't give a shit. Get us to the playoffs. But I think there can be something to playing with a bit more swagger at times.
I think they need a guy to chase something that he usually doesn't. We saw it with Hyman and how excited they were to get to that. Nugent Hopkins, 100 points as well, like just a couple of guys.
So can that be McDavid? Can McDavid be like, I really want to score 60 goals again?
Again, I know, that would be great. Or even like, for example, Savoy gets hot. Yeah. And he's so close to like 30, 40 goals. Like that's crazy.
Crazy.
Hot. But like they need something like that to kind of rally around him and maybe get this guy out there. Like, we want to play on this power play in the last 5 minutes of the game up 5-1 because he deserves the goal. Like they need record chasing, I guess you could put it in a way. And McDavid, like we see it every year with McDavid and Draisaitl. Like McDavid didn't care about scoring 60, it didn't seem like, but Draisaitl really cared about it. And even last year, like there wasn't much talk about Draisaitl getting the MVP, like from the team, if I'm remembering correctly. So last season was just so weird. I don't really know how to put my finger on it because, like you said, it's not like they don't care. It's just like I almost think this year is maybe last season is another lesson coming into this year of like, let's just that doesn't matter, but we need it to matter a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay, we do have something to talk about today.
Could be anything.
Our friend our friend Jeff Marek of Daily Faceoff and The Sheet, he had a chance to sit down with Jeff Jackson. And he got a chance to ask Jeff Jackson about the Connor McDavid contract. And the interview is not going to drop until a little bit later on. It's a collab we're doing with our friends at Airbnb, where basically Jeff Marek got to go to cottage country and interview a bunch of really cool people. But we really wanted to give you guys a sneak peek on this because it's Jeff Jackson with some, I'd call it pretty important and interesting comments on the Connor McDavid negotiations. Let's take a listen.
About Connor. If we had been sitting here a year ago, and if we had been sitting here exactly a year ago, I'm going to ask you about Connor. If we had been sitting here a year ago and Connor McDavid hadn't signed an extension, I would have said the hockey world would be going crazy right now. It would be on fire. But the opposite has happened. Everyone's really calm about Connor McDavid and the extension. How did that happen?
I'm not sure, other than the fact that there's like a certain level of comfort with Connor. He's been in Edmonton for 10 years. He's been very vocal about how much he loves the city. He loves playing for this team. The team is a good team, which is paramount to Connor having an opportunity to win. Mm-hmm. I think the conversation would be a lot different if we were struggling and we hadn't been and gone as far. I mean, it's disappointing as it has been to not win. We've been right there for 2 years in a row, and I think although we've made changes this summer, I think we have a really good team again. And obviously, so Connor feels good about all that. So it could be the relationship with Connor and the city. My relationship with Connor goes way back. Connor has a lot of confidence in Stan and has been public about that. And, ownership and Daryl Cates and his family have treated Connor and Lauren very well. And so I think that it's a combination of all those things. And I know last year when Leon had another year left and we were going to extend him or wanted to, it seemed like there was a lot more pressure, media talk about.
It seems like Leon was noisier than Connor's been, which I never would have guessed.
A little bit, but I tried to tamp that down last June when we were in the finals. I know there was if you don't get him signed right away, you're gonna have to trade him. I was like, well, I'm not sure what you're talking about. He has another year. He loves playing in Edmonton, and sure enough, we got a deal done early September with Leon, and I'm super happy about that. So I sort of feel it's the same with Connor. It's not going to be a long negotiation, and it's sort of when.
How quick is that phone call, by the way, or how long is that? How quick is that conversation?
I think that it won't be. It'll be unlike any other sort of negotiation because it's not really, and I think that when Connor's ready, we'll have the discussion and we'll get a deal done.
Wow.
Okay, here's a couple of things. You and I have been saying that for 4 months. So to hear it come out of the mouth of the Oilers president is important.
I think, too, a lot of people who were educated around the team probably also thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of knows the vibe on it. Just the outside noise is the one talking about it so much.
Exactly. And every sort of conspiracy theory that people wanted to drum up over the last, we'll call it year and a half. He wants to go to LA. When has Connor McDavid ever wanted to be in the limelight all that bad? He's going to go to Toronto. I think we all kind of know that got played out and there was no interest there. Yeah. Oh, well, look at who his agent has relationships with. Could he want to go to a Boston or a New York? And
Tampa.
Well, yeah, that was happening. Tampa. Why, right? Yeah. They never really lined up, and everything that Connor's done, everything that the organization has done over the last 18 months has signaled towards a contract's going to happen, and he's not leaving Edmonton now. Would I sit there and have a conversation that, hey, 5 years from now, maybe he would leave the Edmonton Oilers? Yeah, because 5 years is a really long ways away, and you never know how things are going to play out. But right now, at this moment in time, he's playing with his best friend, Leon Draisaitl. They have had more success than any organization not named the Florida Panthers in the last 2 years. They have a lot of those key core pieces still around. His former agent is running the team. I've long hammered this home, and this goes back to when Jeff Jackson first got hired. Jeff Jackson would have had intimate knowledge of whether or not Connor McDavid wants to be in Edmonton long term. Does that guy sign up to run an organization and leave his very cushy, nice agency job? Does he leave running one of the biggest agencies in hockey to run the Oilers if he's had conversation as Connor McDavid's agent being like, oh, I know one day you really want to go play here? Yeah. No, he doesn't. Does Connor McDavid give that the under-the-table thumbs up, which we all know he did? Does he do that if he doesn't like Jeff Jackson and doesn't trust his ability to run an organization? No.
Yeah. A lot of this stuff, and the organization is just... I know the Knobloch hire was, the rumor was McDavid wanted it and all that. McDavid publicly came out and said that I don't want that. I didn't ask for it, I should say. But there was the understanding of Knobloch and him had a good relationship.
Yeah.
And that's why he came in and did it. It was a strategic hire and one that I think ended up obviously being the right one either way. But there's just so many layers to all of this of McDavid. I'll never forget the clip, and I can't remember when it was, but after one of the games where he was player of the game, he was like, I love it. I love playing in Edmonton. I want to play here for the rest of my career. You don't just say that in the middle of November for nothing.
In the middle of November.
You know what I mean? It's just he's brought it up so many times. And even the conversation, like you mentioned there, of he doesn't want to be in the spotlight in LA. For hockey, there's way more spotlight in Edmonton than LA. You know what I mean? In the idea of he's not he's getting it's going to get worse for him in LA. It's just as bad here as it is there. It could be. So I just think at the end of the day, the reason this has been drawn out is because he's been away at his best friend's wedding. He's not been here. You know what I
And
mean?
he's going to go to Calgary for the Olympic little
the orientation camp.
orientation camp. And again, anyone who's even wanting to pretend to play insider, this was the thing with Draisaitl too. If you listen to this show, if you listen to basically any show that talks about the Edmonton Oilers for 5 weeks leading up to the Draisaitl thing, it was like, hey, it's going to come late August, early September. Yep. It's going to be an 8-year deal. Yep. It's going to make him the highest paid player in the NHL. Yep. Everyone knew that. And then some people like to run around and pretend that they're insiders and be like, oh, I got a scoop here. I got a scoop here.
Yeah. No.
Let me just squash all that for you. The McDavid contract, nobody knows the term. Probably 4 years. Could be 3, could be 5. No one. It's going to be around $16 to $18 million, and it's going to happen when he comes back from the orientation camp and he's in town. Done.
When is the camp?
I think it's next week.
I would not be shocked if it's signed before then.
Before the orientation camp.
Just for the idea of like
He doesn't want to go there.
Doesn't answer the questions.
Yeah, maybe.
It makes sense. Like
it's going to happen in the next 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
I think so. Before camp.
Easy conversation to have, as Jeff Jackson said. But if you want to listen to that full interview, it's going to drop, I believe, next week on the sheet. Subscribe to the Daily Faceoff YouTube. But basically, Jeff Jackson backing up what I think a lot of sane Oilers fans and sane Edmonton media members have been saying for a year.
Are we allowed to say who else is on this on the stuff?
I don't know. I don't know.
I won't say who, but there's another current Oiler.
Really?
And another former Oiler also on these shows.
Oh, shit. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, I think he has like 8 guests.
8 cottage guests.
A rotation of them, yeah. I know there's at least 2 other connections to the Oilers for his interviews.
I don't know who they are. Have I not been reading my emails?
No,
or you were told them? Word of mouth?
Word of mouth.
Ah, damn it.
They might have been brought up whilst you were away.
Ah, okay.
One of them might have played with our good friend, Devin Dubnyk.
Oh, if it's a Nuge, I'll be very excited.
It's not Nuge. They're from Ontario. I mean,
oh, yeah, that makes
Ontario
sense. All right. Speaking of Devin Dubnyk, is he here? Is he here? All right, let's get out. Star Mechanical Guest Line, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more by visiting them online at starmechanical.ca. There you go. Beautiful Star Mechanical residential, commercial, 24/7 emergency service. They do it all. They do it well. Devin Dubnyk joins us for a little summertime chat. Devin, how's your summer been going? What golf game? What have you been doing?
It's been great. Hey, thanks. Nice to be back. And yeah, we spent a little time out in BC at the beginning of August, mid-August. My sister-in-law got married, so went out to Fairmont. That was nice. And yeah, a little bit of golf, lots of fishing with the boys. And they just went back to school today for the first day. So it's a quiet household.
I was going to say, is this not like sweet spot mode now for you if the kids are at school? Like your golf game can now actually probably pick up. This is like a 1 month little window for you.
Yes, I'm right in the slot right now. This is like 4 times a week kind of thing, as long as the sun stays out.
I like it. Sorry, you went through BC. You said Fairmont. Anywhere else?
No, just out there. We were out there for a week. My father-in-law lives out there as well, so we've been out there plenty of times, and it's just an awesome place. Dutch Creek. Quadding, fishing, swimming in beautiful glacier water. It's awesome.
Is that where we went?
I have no idea.
You don't know where we went?
No.
For your bachelor party.
Oh, for my bachelor party. Yeah. Well, in Vermeer, I don't know, man.
Close? I don't know.
As you can imagine, that weekend was a blur for me.
Yes.
I'm
going right by Embry.
I'm going fishing for the first time ever tomorrow. They're taking me out. Sherwood Power Sports and Marines taking me out here in Edmonton. Beginner fishing advice for me. What do you got?
Listen to your guide. I honestly, I've been learning on the go here. My kids, I didn't fish growing up. My kids have fallen in love with it. I used to honestly not even want to touch a fish. Like if I caught it ever, I was like, someone else touch it. That's gross. And now all I do is put worms and leeches on hooks and get hooks out of fish's stomachs. And like, it just never ends. So, yeah, hopefully you guys catch something. It can be a little boring if it's quiet, but my kids think that we fish here, and they think that you catch a fish every time you throw the line in the water because there's a little sunfish off the dock that just bite every time. And so anytime they go more than like a minute without a fish biting, they're like, "Oh, this is taking so long." I'm like, "This isn't real fishing."
I have no idea what to expect. Jay thinks I'm going to be terrible at it. I have no concept of like how it works.
What are you fishing for?
Never been out once. So I don't understand the skill and all that behind it, because I know there is skill, but it's just not something that my brain is like wired to understand. As far as I understand, it's like you drop, hook in, wait for fish, pull it out. But I know it's more complicated than that.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah. Depends what you're fishing for, but a lot of times it is as simple as dropping and waiting. They just take you to where the fish are.
Let's talk a little Oilers. We just played a clip of Jeff Jackson talking about the McDavid extension. Nobody here, again, I kind of just said, no sane Oilers fan, sane Oilers media member is concerned about how this is going. Connor McDavid's going to have a new contract heading into next year, but do you have any best guess, any gut feel, any take on what it'll end up being? Like, there's a lot of speculation. Oh, it's going to be 4 years, maybe 5 years. He's maybe going to take a hair less money. Maybe it's only 16 mil or 17 million instead of like a 18, 19 million dollar deal, which I know you could get. But the idea that like McDavid has a blank check, right? The Oilers call him, say, what do you want to do? And then they hang up and sign the contract.
Yeah. I mean, it's a unique situation, but it's basically, it's very clear who the best player on the planet is. It's Connor McDavid. It's not arguable. There's obviously after McDavid, there's some incredible players, but he demands every penny he gets. So basically it's a very unique situation with the negotiation where it's figuring out what McDavid wants to do. He's going to want to know the direction the Oilers are going. For him, is it shorter term, kind of that midterm where you're locking up a bunch of money, obviously, which is important, but also, if that window closes to win and the Oilers are forced into some sort of, maybe not a full rebuild or whatever, but just some years where as he's getting older, winning a Stanley Cup is obviously extremely important to him. Is he doesn't necessarily want to lock in for 7 years. I think they can't do 8 anymore, can they?
One more year. This is the last year they can do it.
Yeah, last year they can do 8.
So he might not want to lock in for 8 if there's that potential of. I mean, so many things can change, and then all of a sudden being here, maybe when he's later on and wants to win. So I think that mid range kind of gives him a little bit of flexibility with both. But at the end of the day, it's wants. If he wants every single penny, like to the max, then you give it to him. And if you want to try to negotiate with him a little bit and say, hey, could you take $1 million less, help us build the roster around you? That's really going to be up to him, because it's just you give him every cent he wants and the term he wants, and try to keep everybody happy, because there's nobody like him in the league. There's not going to be anybody like him anytime soon, or who knows when, or anything like that. So it's pretty much all in his court.
I think it's almost like negotiation isn't the right way to phrase it, but for the Oilers, you're more so giving like almost a presentation, I think, of like, hey, Connor, we know you can pick whatever you want. If you come in at 20, here's our projections for next offseason, the offseason after. If you come in at 16, here's our projections and like the free agents we think we can be fighting for, the money we can give to other guys. Like, you're almost not negotiating him down. You're trying to sell him on how good of a team you could put together if he's at 16 instead of 18 and a half.
Well, that's exactly it. That's why it's so unique. It's a sales pitch. You're giving a sales pitch to a guy who you're going to give the biggest contract in NHL history to. It just doesn't seem to make a ton of sense, but neither does what he does on the ice.
Yeah, that's true. There was kind of a rumor the other day, obviously, believe it or not, goaltending is still a hot topic throughout the summer.
No way.
Didn't do anything, and people are not happy about that. But the recent rumor mill is the Oilers showed interest in Detroit's younger goalies, Trey Augustine and Sebastian Cossa. My question isn't necessarily directed at those two players, but the idea of having a younger player sit behind Stuart Skinner, do you think that would be something that would benefit the Oilers, or just like not a good idea and rather have the experience in Calvin Pickard?
Interesting situation. I don't think that's the play right now. This is obviously win now mode. And so you're not, it depends on how high they are on the guy. If you get a guy who you think is ready to play now, ready to make a difference now, potentially, being a starter if Skinner struggles or gets hurt. I don't know if that's out there. If that was the case, it'd be different. But when you're in win now mode, this is not the time to be trying to develop a young guy and spending time in the season to develop a young guy. Like I said, unless you're very high on him. But you don't want to put yourself in a situation then where he didn't pan out this or isn't quite ready, even if he's still going to be good, but he's not quite ready. And now you're scrambling as the season goes on. You're scrambling at the trade deadline because of the win now thing and the focus on the goaltending and the way it's gone the last couple of years and everybody talking about it. I don't know if bringing a young guy unproven into that scenario, it's always good to bolster the depth chart. If you wanted to bring kind of a high-end, make a trade and bring a high-end prospect in, that would be your third guy that you could, especially with a veteran guy like Pickard, where you could find your slots throughout the season to have the third guy come up and play, see where he's at. There's always potential there, but I don't think that having a young, unproven backup where the Oilers are right now is the best play.
I think just on top of that too, the assets they would have to spend to get one of those younger goalies, just like, wouldn't it be that worth it? Is improving your backup goalie better than, say, getting a top 4 defenseman at deadline? The answer is no.
And also, like, again, if you want to spend the assets on a Kosa or an Augustine, those are assets that you then can't use at the deadline. Like, I would just wait a year and then go get a Kosa or an Augustine, right? Like,
exactly.
There's no rush to go get one of those guys right now. Wait and save what assets you have to improve this year's team. Like, you are Stanley Cup win now. This is the window. Yeah,
absolutely. And again, if that changes, like you said, those guys are still going to be there, or somebody else. They're young guys. It's not going to, a year from now isn't going to change where those guys are at, or they may be more ready. But to do that right now, like if this season doesn't go well, and then that's when they decide to move on from Skinner, well then, that opens up a whole new scenario. But same thing if you're going to, Skinner's 26. We talked about that a lot. So if you're going to go get a young guy as potentially being your future, then that's kind of like you're thinking of moving on from Skinner. So then that changes that whole dynamic of who's going to be your guy. And then, Skinner moves and somebody else would have to come in. So where they're at right now, I think that's a wait and see.
I wanted to ask you one more on the contract side of things. Former Oiler goalie Devin Dubnyk, and he also hosts Ask Dubey every second Wednesday or Tuesday, Reese?
Wednesday.
We drop them on Wednesdays, yes. Every second Wednesday here throughout the summer. But I got my own kind of Ask Dubey for you, and it's on the topic of contract negotiations. You got your one, or the real big ticket for you was with the Minnesota Wild. And how involved are you? How involved is the average player in their own negotiations? Like, we talked about how Connor McDavid is different, but like when you're presented a 6-year, $26 million contract, is it your agent doing the bulk of that work and then just coming to you at the last minute being like, hey, this is the number we've settled on? Or are you kind of with them every step of the way as offers go back and forth?
I'm going to guess that it varies player to player. I think your higher end guys, like your very top end guys, your McKinnons, McDavids, there's probably more involvement from the player in those. Take McDavid away because we just talked about that being a unique scenario. But even still, your big contracts, your McKinnons, all those top guys, they're probably more involved. For myself, I mean, I had the same age in my whole career. It was just communication with him. He would talk to the team. He'd get back to me. He was extremely smart. He knew kind of seemed to be a step ahead, not in negotiating, but he kind of always seemed to know what was coming. So I was always pretty relaxed, and I felt like I knew what was coming. And he was almost always right too. Like here's where they're at. Here's what they're saying. This is probably going to be the next step, and it almost always was. He was pretty almost exact on just about every contract that I got as far as what it was going to look like and being able to give me a heads up on that. But my communication was just with him, and then he would communicate with the team. And it was actually his idea was what ended up getting me the 6-year deal in Minnesota. It was his idea to do 8 because they were so tight to the cap. I think they were re-signing Granlund and Coyle and Niederreiter all in the same year. And I mean, it was down to dollars. Trying to fit me in there. And so realistically, I think what the number would have been 4 years for $5 million a year. And they literally didn't have that. Like we were down they needed 600,000, I think it was in cap space to fit me in. So we're kind of stuck there. And then my agent suggested doing an 8-year with a diving after the first 4 years. And they said, well, we can't do 8, but it's actually a good idea. Let's do 6. So it went 5 for 4 years, and then 3.525, and then that got that number to 4.33. And he kind of told me how it was all going to play out, and then a week later it all played out. But it is nerve wracking. A lot of sitting and waiting and wondering kind of what it's a huge spot in your life, especially when you're signing that big ticket.
And like you had made obviously some money in your career. You had got like this, I think it was 3.5 with Edmonton. But when you signed that deal with Mini, I'm just looking at the sheet right now. It came with $1 million signing bonus. Is that sweet? Waking up and like opening up your banking app the morning comes in and you're like, oh hell yeah, like nice $1 million? Or is it not that simple?
Yeah, I mean, it is that simple. It's like, I don't know. It doesn't. It's just you're looking at it on the screen or whatever. So it's pretty sweet. And you try. I mean, like a lot of things happen at that time because now it's like we had been looking. We looked at houses before we left Minnesota because obviously we knew the potential to come back there. So we didn't want to have to fly a bunch in the summer if we did end up signing here. So we had like 2 houses in mind. There was like a short-term contract house and a long-term contract house, and so it was like. As soon as this contract came through, it was like on the phone with the real estate agent. We were like, we're going to take this one. Calls back. He's like, they already sold that. I'm like, okay, never mind. Back to the drawing board. But it was like instantly, because it was July and so you don't have that much time. We're trying to find a house and figure out cars and getting out there and all that stuff. So good problems to have.
I've always thought of that. Like, again, Connor McDavid has so much money, but he has like $10.5 million in a signing bonus every year. I'm like, no matter how much money you have, it must be pretty nice. Sick. Yeah. July 1, just like rolling over in bed, CIBC, because he banks with CIBC, looking at me and like, hell yeah, we're good. 10.5 cleared. We can go back to hockey now, though. Liam asked you about the idea of getting younger in net, and that's more of like a hypothetical. But one thing the Oilers have made like a concerted effort of doing this summer is getting younger up front and cheaper up front, like Howard, Savoy. They bring back Kapanen for cheap. They got this Tomasek guy coming in that no one really knows anything about. But what do you make of that approach? This team being in like a firm Stanley Cup win now window, but at the same time also trying to like weirdly retool this roster on the fly.
Well, I think it's a good way to go about things to extend that window. If you really just buckle down and sell out on the short window, then if that passes, then you're going to be scrambling and full rebuild. So if you can retool and get younger and cheaper kind of as you go, if you're replacing guys with what you essentially think is a similar player that's going to give you similar output, I think the key is are those players going to come in and buy in the same way that the other guys did? And I think they will. I think, like we talked about during playoffs, the leadership of the Oilers from Knoblauch down to McDavid and Draisaitl and these guys, and bringing guys in and just having them buy in to what it is that they're doing, and then they get to develop as they're playing big minutes and they're contributing and they're getting experience, but they're also developing at the same time, so that as it goes on, you're hoping that these guys get better and better and better, and you don't have this wall that you hit where you don't have any money to spend, guys are leaving, you got no one in the system, and then it's crash mode and full rebuild. So I think it's a smart play, and then hopefully these guys buy in the same way that the other guys were, and as long as they can contribute equally, then you're saving money.
Yeah. Last one from me, non-Oilers question. It's about the Olympics, Team Canada. Is there someone, I guess a couple of players, you look at that Canada roster from the Four Nations and you think, okay, maybe they've got to come off, and if they're coming off, are there players who you think need to come on? I say that as like the Olympic orientation camp, I think they call it, is coming up this week, and also Canada only took 3 goalies, which is very interesting, I think.
Yeah, interesting with the 3 goalies on an orientation thing, but I mean that can change, although there's not like a ton of depth on the goalie side. And I would imagine Binnington is, after the Four Nations, is your guy unless he really is struggling. But yeah, I'm assuming I got to be honest, I haven't looked at anything, so I don't even know what the roster is. I'm assuming Bedard's going. Yeah. So that's one guy that I would think would stand out, and he's probably going to be raring to go after not going to Four Nations and his chance to develop, because that would be fun to see. Obviously he's an incredible player, and it's not easy to go to play on a struggling team, and he's got to develop as a young player. So I think that maybe missing that Four Nations is really going to light a fire, and if he can get there and he can kind of develop and grow up a little bit as a player where he's going to be able to fit in that Olympic lineup, I mean, you can't tell me it wouldn't be fun to watch him play with the best players in the world. And no offense to the Chicago Blackhawks, but it'd be a little different look. We get a little different taste of Connor Bedard with some of the other players.
Did you ever play with Tyson Barrie? No, you would have never crossed over with him, right?
No, just against him. I did lots of like stuff in the summer, skates in the summer and whatnot, but never played with him.
That's what we're getting to next. That's why it popped into my
There
head.
you
But
go.
Dubey, appreciate your time. Hope you enjoy your 1 month of kid-free golfing, and then it's back to hockey season in 5 weeks. So get ready.
Absolutely, I am ready.
Yeah, there you go, Devin
ya.
Dubnyk. Thanks, Dubey. If you got any Ask Dubey questions, put them in the chat, and then Reese can screenshot them and send them to Devin for the next episode of Ask Dubey. So it can be goaltending related, life related, questions about his Oilers career. He really does answer it all. You can find it wherever you get your podcast from as well. If you subscribe to Oilers Nation Radio, you kind of just get automatically put into the Ask Dubey feed as well. So go find Ask Dubey right here on the YouTube or over wherever you get your podcast from. Send in your questions and get his take on basically whatever you want. Let's keep cruising along. What's trending for our friends at Oodle Noodle? 15 locations in the Edmonton area. They also do their charity box, which allows proceeds from every purchase of its signature box, whatever the signature box of the quarter is, to go to Sports Central. Obviously, we do a lot of work now with Sports Central as well, which we love supporting. And Oodle Noodle, they're great in the community. The feature dish is
Hot box.
hot Thai box.
There you go.
Giddy up. Pick one up today. Dinner on Oodle Noodle. Why not? All for a good cause. What's trending, Liam? Tyson Barrie announced his retirement today. Obviously, had himself a great career. Last year, went and played with the Flames, and
Wranglers a little bit.
yeah, he was in and out of the lineup. He cleared waivers. He's kind of the prototypical offensive defenseman where, like, his peak years, holy shit, were they ever good. Like, even think about Mike Green. I know different caliber because Mike Green was setting records, scoring 30 goals a year. But, like, there was a season on the Oilers where Tyson Barrie led the NHL in scoring for a defenseman.
A first defenseman to lead the NHL in scoring and not get a first place Norris vote.
Crazy.
Congratulations, Tyson.
But
He was, I know that was kind of like tongue in cheek, but like, it's an impressive season.
Yeah.
And obviously he had his defensive inabilities, I guess we can call them.
Yeah.
But like,
for him, for a guy like that to play 822 games is still very, very
he
impressive.
did really well. And I'll never forget the goal he scored against LA that basically sent it to a game 7, right?
Yeah.
He's the one that came down and
4
slap
minutes
shot.
left and ripped one home.
Yeah, that was great. He was great for the Oilers that season. He was a good Oiler. It was disappointing, I think, to see him get traded just because of what he had done for the team. But Evan Bouchard was coming through. You got Matthias Ekholm. Like, it worked out to be an unbelievable deal for Edmonton, especially when you look at, not to shoot down Reed Schaefer, but like the development he's kind of gone through. He doesn't look to be like a first round pick at the end of the day. Great deal, and yeah, Tyson Barrie, good Oiler. Fortunately for him, his career kind of fell off a cliff after he left Edmonton.
Yeah, and you do see, like, with, we'll call them really good, oh no, I even struggle with that, just like the elite puck-moving defensemen.
Yeah.
They kind of do have shorter peaks.
Well, John Klingberg, I think, is a good example.
another great
of it.
example.
He just kind of came back, and his injury obviously plagued him, it seemed like, and I think John Klingberg was probably a better player than what Tyson Barrie was.
Yeah, a better all-around defenseman.
Yeah, but a similar kind of guy, isn't he? It was like, you just know when he's out there, the other guy's got to defend a little bit harder.
Yeah. But anyways, congrats to Tyson Barrie.
Yeah.
Excited to see what he does. I think he'd be a good media guy too. Like a
A lot of personality.
lot of personality in him, yeah. And he's one of those guys as well. Like I saw Ennis made a post about it. Like his teammates love him. We should actually probably get Ennis on. He'd probably be willing to talk a little bit more about what Tyson Barrie was like. But congrats to Tyson Barrie on a great career. Our friend Jeff Marek was on with the Empty Netters guys talking about some of the RFAs around the NHL. There's still a couple left, surprising enough. Are we going to see any action on this front?
Yes.
Explain your yes then.
By action, I just mean I think there'll be an offer. There's too many guys out there.
Mason McTavish, Luke Hughes, and Luke Evangelista, Connor Zary.
Zary.
Those are the 4.
I think the movement will come on McTavish and Zary.
A trade?
No. I think there'll be someone will offer sheet them. And I know both Anaheim and Calgary have money to play with.
Yeah.
But by all accounts, it sounds like no one's really that close in negotiations from what we've been spoken about. McTavish is a bit more of a vocal point than the Zary one, but there was a report not that long ago, maybe about 6 weeks ago, I guess, maybe not that long, but just how they weren't that close with each other on deals, him and Calgary. So I just wonder if someone's going to go in there and be like, you know what, let's offer Zary, just for example, $7 million deal. Make Calgary offer sheet it. Kind of like what Montreal did with Sebastian Aho. I could see that happening. Also, both could be great players. I love them
Yeah.
both.
I mean, Mason McTavish, it's weird that the shine's off him a little bit.
I know.
He scores 20 goals a year. He's 22. He's younger than Connor Zary.
He was a 3rd overall pick.
He's just one of those guys almost that like came into the league early and then like struggled initially.
Yeah.
So people are just kind of like, and then you watch him for 3 or 4 years and you're like, oh, he's been in the league now. But he's still so young.
Still really
they
good
just put him in the NHL too early.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He was the guy who, if I remember correctly, wasn't supposed to go as high as he did in that draft.
Yeah.
And people questioned it a lot, but 229 games, 140 points, 170 penalty minutes. Sounds like he's going to have a pretty good career as a power forward in the NHL.
He's like, it's always tough to say this like right now or like to say this early in the career, but like I look at a guy like Mason McTavish and I go, he'll play 1,000 games in the NHL.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Like, a guy like Connor Zary, maybe he like peaks really well and then he flames out. But like, I just see McTavish, the style of player he is at his age. Like, I think he'll have a very good peak and then he'll get to like 32 and he'll reinvent himself or like fade into being a 3rd-line center and he'll play till he's 36.
Yeah, the only players in McTavish's draft class who have more points than him, Wyatt Johnston and Matty Beniers. And he has played fewer games than both of them. There you go. He's a good player.
Yep.
I'm surprised that the Anaheim Ducks haven't figured out with him. Unless he's asking for an astronomical amount. But I think you look at teams, what is it? Jason Blake, what's his?
Jackson Blake,
Jackson Blake. And there was one other kid that just got a big
Frank
deal.
Nazar.
Nazar, that's it. Yeah, both those guys on the deals. Hey, guys, I'd honestly rather have McTavish than either of those guys. And
Not Nazar.
You don't think so? You
Definitely not Nazar. Blake, argument, Nazar I think is going to be a stud. I think Nazar is going to be like a 30, 35 goal guy.
And you don't think McTavish can hit that?
I don't think McTavish has the offensive upside. I think he's a great all-around player, and I think that's where his game will go is like he'll be on teams and he'll be like, and this is maybe a lazy one just because it's duck to duck, but like I could see McTavish almost being like a Ryan Kessler light player.
Oh, and I would say Ryan Kessler all day.
I would too, but I think Frank Nazar has where one of them could be Ryan Kessler light.
Yeah.
I'm just being lazy here, but like could Nazar be Patty Kane light? Like I think McTavish is doing like 65 to 75 points and helping you everywhere. I think Nazar's having years where he's 85 to 95.
Interesting.
Power play production, obviously a part of that, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather have McTavish. Maybe it's just because we have a bit more of a sample size of him, though, too.
That's fair, too. Yeah, Nazar, we've only seen play 55 games, right?
Yeah. On a bad team.
On a bad team. Let's keep going with what's trending. We'll get back to the hockey in just a moment, but the Edmonton Elks have won 3 in a row?
Yes. And they should have won a 4th, but they missed an open touchdown against someone at home. It might have been Hamilton, actually. Yeah, they're looking actually really good. I don't know if they're just playing bad teams. I'm not that.
Yeah, so their 3 straight wins have come against the Alouettes, the Argos, and the Red Blacks.
I think the Alouettes are good.
Two of those are on the road too. But the Owls are 5-6, and then the Argos and Red Blacks are both 3-8 and play in a weaker East Division, you could say. But the Elks are putting a little something together here. Like they're 1 win or 2 points back of BC, but they have a game in hand on them. Staring down the barrel of the Labor Day doubleheader against a Stamps team that's 7-3. Like that's tough, but if you can get the split, giddy up.
Yeah, and the quarterback, Cody Fajardo, is just winning them games.
Yeah,
like, he
and
just like knows what to do. And I know everyone wants Trey Ford, but
you can now, yeah.
You gotta win. Like you have to win some football games. I'm not even talking about winning a Grey Cup. Like you got to be competitive. And Trey Ford just wasn't playing that well. And they actually have quite a lot of talent on this roster. I think when you watch the games, you see it. Like Justin Rankin, holy smokes! Like,
He's so good. Sat next to him on a plane once.
We did, yes. Oh, you did, yeah. He looks like he could be legit. Actually, funnily enough, weren't you in front of Cody Fajardo in the line as well, you think?
In the security line, yeah, it was.
That's funny.
He was going back home. Because we were flying
it was
to...
like week 3 of the season, they were on the bye.
Oh, yeah.
And they were all kind of going home for the weekend, and we were going to Florida.
Yeah.
For the week, I guess. But, yeah, I like him. I went to the game the other week against Toronto, and Nick Arbuckle, who was actually, funnily enough, Trey Ford's backup when he was here. And the Elks beat them. It's good. It's really exciting.
I really want to go to the Labor Day rematch game on September 6th. I feel like I can make some calls around the office and probably get my way into that
I
game.
don't even know if you'd have to call. You could just yell out, open this door. Hello.
All right.
Tickets, please.
Congratulations, Tommy Fleetwood.
Oh, yeah. He finally did it.
Trying me hardest.
He's not Irish.
Nah, close enough. First career win, and it's the Tour Championship. That's wild.
That's the last round of the year, right?
Well, Ryder Cup year, though.
Yes.
So we'll have the Ryder Cup in September, but this was the last tournament of the year. Tommy Fleetwood has never won. He's blown multiple Sunday leads this year on the tour. He's been on the tour forever.
I believe he was the most times leading going into a weekend and not winning.
Yeah.
12 or something like that.
His career earnings before this weekend was $49 million. He $49 million on his career, which spans all the way back to 2000 and we'll call it 2017 when he started to first really make money. So his career's been 8 years. He's never won despite being one of the top golfers on tour. Yeah. $49 million in career earnings in basically 8 years. You know how much he won for winning the tour championship?
$40 million.
$10 million bucks.
Isn't this one the biggest payday?
The biggest payday.
The one you want to win.
Yeah. So he wins $10 million, wins the Players, and now he's going to the Ryder Cup. I have a thing with the Ryder Cup. I never know who to root for.
Europe.
So like that, I don't like the idea of rooting for Team USA because
they just play the villains so well.
And like Americans, sorry to our American listeners, but like I don't want to root for Team USA because I root against Team USA everywhere. Yeah. But like I'm a big Justin Thomas fan. I like Bryson DeChambeau. I like a lot of the guys that are on Team USA.
There's only one guy I don't like, Patrick Cantley.
He might not even make the team.
Might not make the team. I didn't know this actually. Sorry, I didn't know the captain could play.
If he's good, the captain's just never been good enough to play.
Because usually he's a guy who's just kind of aged out.
Yeah, like Luke Donald for Europe.
Yeah, and what was it, Zach Johnson?
It was the year before, yeah.
And yeah, this is the first time I remember, maybe someone else can, an active, current good player he's playing because it's obviously Keegan Bradley, who should be on the team. He should have been on the team last time.
Yeah.
Ricky Fowler.
You're gone.
He's got clubs hands. That's all like Ricky Fowler's got. I can't wait.
I almost like it because I think I can just sit back and watch the Ryder Cup and like root for no one and just place some bets probably and enjoy really good golf. But anyways, Ryder Cup's going to be a ton of fun.
What do you make of the Ryder Cup in the sense of, I don't really understand this. I understand it one way, but not the other. So the US never wins in Europe.
Yeah.
Because I think a big part of it is the players never go there. Like the players never go and play tour. Like, what was it, Rome last time?
Yeah.
You never play in Rome on the tour.
No.
But Europe never wins in the US, but they play in the US all year round. Like, I don't really understand why it's such like an advantage for the US. You know what
crowd?
I mean? Maybe the crowd. I think actually
mental.
the crowd in Europe is obviously
really
a lot better. But I love the Ryder Cup. Last year was a really, really fun one. So many storylines.
I went golfing for the first time since my hole-in-one challenge.
Yeah. Survived.
Yeah, I did. You can still see where all the blisters were on my hand.
Scars.
But yeah, the scars, you can like still see all of the scars of them. But played for the first time, had 4 birdies in one round. First time I've ever done that.
That's really good.
Yeah. Shot a 79. I had too many bogeys and I had a double. So
79. You sound disappointed.
No, I'm not disappointed. I needed a bogey on. I got so lucky. I needed a bogey on 18. Stepped up, hammer my drive into the water.
Oh no. Where'd you play?
Ravencrest.
Nice.
And it was one of those two where like I hit it and I'm like, I think it's safe. And I went and my ball was sitting, like I picked it up out of the water. It was like in the water by like an inch. Damn it. And I drop, go, smoke one over the green. I think my rangefinder was off. And I hit a rock and bounced backwards and was on and then finished it off. So it was a good round of golf. I got the itch back. After the hole-in-one challenge killed me. And I was like, I'm not golfing until the Oilersnation Open probably, which is on Friday. I was like, I'm not golfing. And then my dad was like, you want to golf Saturday? I was like, okay, fine. And then like even getting there, I was like, I'm not excited to golf. And then I started golfing. I was like, all right, we're back. All the way back.
I went camping over the weekend.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't gone camping for quite a while. It was a lot of fun. Wizard Lake I went to. It's only 45 minutes away. That's the side of Leduc. I think it's
What'd you do?
In Kalmar. We went on a boat.
Okay.
That was fun. We played catch. That was awesome.
Just ripping a football around?
Baseball.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Were you throwing curveballs?
No, just the 5 of my buddies, me and 5 of my buddies, just rolling a baseball, and whilst our girlfriends were just
watching,
doing whatever they were doing. I don't even know.
That's awesome.
I had a great time, but I stepped in a hole, and I threw on my back. Do you know when you walk in and like you don't realize there's like a little pothole you step in, and all of a sudden you just kind of jiggle your way out, and then you camp sleeping on an air mattress?
Yeah,
I'm struggling.
What'd you eat?
Burgers, and actually there was a little beach there, so there was like a little kiosk, I guess.
Oh, so you could go eat there.
Poutine. But yeah, I had burgers, hot dogs. The girls made a. This was actually awesome. Best part about taking your girlfriends on a trip is they had a cocktail and appetizers night. So they all just made like a different cocktail and appetizers.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, did the girls like, because if it's a bunch of guys that just go camping,
burgers and hot dogs
all weekend,
Yeah.
nothing else. Maybe someone gets adventurous and like cooks up a pizza over the fire, but like
It's
even
not
that
crazy.
rare.
Yeah.
Girlfriends are in the mix. Game changer.
It was great. So we had spin dip, we brought homegrown vegetables and hummus, which was great. Greek salad. There was a bunch of awesome stuff. It was so refreshing. There was something else I had to. I can't remember. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Was it like good, like blue algae season though? Not ideal.
So you can't swim?
Well, I can't swim. Period. But
Yeah, you don't. You don't want to swim, so it has no impact on you at all.
we went into the middle of the lake, and a few of my buddies jumped in, and it was fine. But yeah, it was
You had a
good
boat?
weekend. Little boat,
Love boat.
a little dinghy. It was fun. A few domestic lights drink.
You love a good domestic light.
Who doesn't?
You're not going to be at the golf tournament on Friday, which is sad.
No, I miss it every year.
Miss it every
It's
year.
like the one. It's honestly the one weekend of the year. If I didn't take vacation, the only weekend I need off is the one that.
Yeah.
The open. But I'm excited to go to Penticton. It's beautiful there. Do you know what pisses me off?
Do you
though?
drive or you fly?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna fly. Yeah, I drive and drove that once. It was too long. When you go on vacation and it's so nice here.
I know.
Like when I go, I want it to rain. Sorry, everyone.
It did. Well, when I was on my honeymoon, it rained like
it was
shitty. It was
terrible.
awesome.
But I just want it to be miserable for a week, and it just won't be.
It'll be
It'll
hot.
be warm there, but I want it to be cold here. But there you go. I'm excited to go.
Chell asked, let's try this again. Is O&E back to Monday, Wednesday, Friday? It is. We had to change it this week because tomorrow our friends at Sherd Power Sports and Marine are taking us out fishing. We're going to do a little fishing derby with them. Myself, Jay Chalmers are going to be on the boat. A whole bunch of the guys are coming out with us. So we couldn't do an episode tomorrow. We have this Jeff Jackson clip we could talk about today. So it made sense to do today. I'll do one Wednesday too. And then Friday I'll do one. So we'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Next week it's long weekend, so it'll be Wednesday, Friday.
Just Wednesday, Friday. Yeah.
But then after that,
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're
you
back.
should pick up because that's when camp starts too.
That's when camp starts. And then starting on first week of October, we are back to the grind. We're like 5 weeks away from back to full time. We're starting to get our guest list lined up for next year and our weekly regulars. So I think we're moving back upstairs.
We'll see. Yeah, that might not be until October, right? I would assume. Yeah. I'm hoping first week of October we can be kind of right at it. We also got a comment in there that was like, Tyler, we watched your hole in one challenge. You did not shoot under 80. I had this fight with Chalmers the other day on Real Life, and we're recording a new Real Life later. Chalmers was like, I was looking at your swing. He's like, I don't buy that your handicap is what you say it is. Then
I was like, you can't. If you're judging me on swing 1,500 of the day, like, what are we talking about? I can golf.
You can golf very well. It's
Friday,
consistent.
I'll be golfing on Friday in the Oilersnation Open with Pat Puff,
Yeah.
Dylan Cardinal, and his buddy. That's our auction guys. Although, can I give some love to our boy Ryan Dennis?
Please do.
This
We can go over
guy,
there.
we've golfed with him 4 Oilersnation Opens in a row, or at least I have 3 or 4. He is always so generous, and he always comes to this tournament and loads us up. He gets us like fresh shirts or jackets so we can be all swagged out as a team every year. He won both auctions, Team Oilersnation Everyday and Team Real Life. He spent a large sum of money, I would call it personally, donating to Gregor's Grads to win these 2 auctions. And then he goes, hand up, I got a family trip next weekend. I can't even play. He wins both auctions, donates the money, can't play. And we thought we were maybe going to mess with Jay and Chalmers a little bit, but we decided that the runners up for the auction, if they honored their second last bids and also donated that,
Yeah.
that
It'd be good.
they can go. So Cody Chambers and Neil Thomas.
Pionk? I don't know his name.
Why am I blanking on his last name?
Is that their buddy or Cody's buddy?
Yeah. His name's Neil Thomas. Yeah, it is Neil Thomas. Why am I stuttering on that? They're going to be golfing with Jay and Chalmers, and then me, my boy Dylan, and his friend, who I believe is a really good golfer, and Pat Puff. We're going to be the other team. We're going to go head to head,
Good luck. I hope you do it.
and we're going to try to win the tournament. I think we got a shot.
We got so close a couple of years ago.
We were right there. That was so good.
That was a fun one. We messed it up on 17, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah. Because, then 18, we were, like, cooked. But can't wait.
Disappointing. Great course.
Shout out Millwoods Golf Club. Shout out Star Mechanical. Shout out to everyone who's coming to the Oilersnation Open. I cannot wait. Wait. I'm not doing a show Friday because I'm golfing.
So just Wednesday.
Just Wednesday. Monday, Wednesday this week. Jesus.
Also, one other thing I need to throw out there. If you listen to us on Spotify, just leave a little review.
Yeah, that helps.
It'll help the algorithm coming into the season. Help us get better guests. Not that I guess I'm good by any means, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that would be awesome. Little review. If you don't like it, don't leave a review.
Nah, just lie and pretend you do like
just
it.
lie. Well,
Doesn't matter to
just
you.
give 5 stars and leave your comment.
Yeah, tell us.
fine.
Give us 5 stars and tell us what you want us to do better.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That'd be very helpful.
Constructive criticism, we'll call it.
Yeah, that's fine. But has no less than 4 stars.
Yeah.
Please.
Jeff says, Tyler, golf the quarry. Love playing the quarry. Would love to go back. If any golf course in the city wants to have me out, I can be bought. Bet365 daily bets. Blue Jays took 2 or 3 from the Miami Marlins this weekend. I got a little bit of a rant here, actually. Shout out to our friends at Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Some people, and maybe it's people who aren't like massive baseball fans or getting on the bandwagon or just love to be whatever. People bitch, oh my God, they lost to the Pirates and then they only took 2 or 3 from Miami. This team, they're not as hot. They played 4 months of like 620 baseball, which is what you need to get 100 wins. It's crazy. If they go, I think it's 13-17 down the stretch. If they go 500, the Yankees would have to go 22-10 to win the division. Yankees ain't going 22-10. If the Jays basically just play 500 ball from here to the end of the season, they're going to win the American League. They're going to win the American League East. They're going to win 90-plus games, and they will be right in the conversation for one of the best records, if not the best record in the American League. They're allowed to have cold stretches. The Detroit Tigers lost like 10 games in a row earlier this season. It's not that deep. They have a series. They're back at home where they're great. They're playing the Minnesota Twins. They get Joe Ryan tonight on the opposite side of things. The Jays are going with Max Scherzer, so I still like their chances. Bet365. The over's probably not a good play today. I don't even know if I would necessarily go run line for the Blue Jays just because Joe Ryan is really, really good.
You see that they're only good player.
He's their ace. He's the guy they debated trading at the deadline, but they held on to him. He's young. He's good. But I'll do Max Scherzer strikeouts because this lineup in Minnesota is pretty terrible.
To say the least.
So let's do Scherzer 6Ks, Blue Jays money line, and then I love the player hits, runs, and RBI thing. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is back in the lineup. I think he comes in with a bang. Vladdy over 1.5 bases. Scherzer 6Ks. Jay's money line is plus 250. Dial it up. I got some winnings from Tommy Fleetwood in my account. I'm ready to go.
I just wouldn't worry about a baseball team when there's 162 games in a season.
No, you can't.
No, there's no need for. They're going to lose games, and also too. You said they were on the road for all those games.
Yeah.
Teams are allowed to win at home too.
Yep. Pirates are actually, like, weirdly enough, a really good home team.
There you go.
Even though they suck on the road. But, like, yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah, whatever.
Not
Blue
worried
Jays
about it.
go. So Blue Jay, Twins next, and then I'm looking at Brewers.
That'd be a tough series.
It's good though. It's good to have good series at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Prepare yourselves.
So yeah, they go Twins, Brewers, then they go to Cincy to play the Reds, then they go to New York to play the Yankees. That's a big one, and then they're back at home to play the Astros and Orioles. I'm going to those series.
Oh,
I'm taking the red eye on like Wednesday. What day is that? Wednesday the 10th. Okay. Wednesday the 9th, I guess. Taking the red eye, land at like 6 a.m. and then going to that afternoon game Thursday in Toronto, and then doing the Friday, Saturday, Sunday games and flying back Sunday night.
Cool.
Giddy up.
I'll be excited.
Enjoy your time in Penticton.
Thank you. I am excited to go.
Go V's.
Go V's, go.
New episode of Real Life going to drop later on this afternoon as well. If you missed the Jeff Jackson quote, you can go, watch the sheet with Jeff Marek. He discussed it in depth. We played it at the beginning of this show, or you can find it on the Oilers Nation socials. Zach wrote a good story about it up on the site as well. So, yeah, that's all we got for today. Another hour that flew by. Shout out to Dubey. He was awesome.
Thank you, Devin.
Thank you, Devin. That's a wrap on today's edition of Oilers Nation Everyday. Quick shout out to our friends at Short Ford the Giant. Didn't do that earlier on. Nation Valet Service ensures you never need to visit the dealership again for your routine car maintenance. And now's a good time to get into a new vehicle. Whether you're new or used, they got a ton of inventory. ShortFord.ca. Get it in August, September-ish, because then you get like a month and a bit of like having the sunroof open, windows down, enjoying it. But then you also have a new reliable vehicle for the winter, which is important. ShortFord.ca. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday. Oil up.